What is up, my valid peeps? Cadiant here. Ohsama Sentai Kingohger is the upcoming 47th season of Super Sentai, and over the last couple of months we've had a bunch of information revealed about it, which I'll be going over in today's video, and I'll be leaving some sources for the information in this video down in the description. Be sure to leave your initial thoughts on Kingohger in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Support me via Patreon for £2 a month to see videos early. And now, let's get started. So we'll be going through the reveals in chronological order, and I won't be talking about the series' trademark, so the first thing I'll be talking about is this. The series' official poster, leaked back in December and then officially revealed a few hours later. This was our first look at the designs and mech of the Kingohgers, and I gave my initial thoughts on their designs over on my Twitter around when the poster was leaked. Go follow me there, by the way. I recently reached 500 followers. It was a rather hype-induced tweet that still applies now, to be honest. I really like the suit designs along with the mech, and also loved that it would be our first full Sentai team with an insect motif, after having only really had 2 pairs of beetle rangers in the past. The official reveal that came later did reveal some additional details, which I'll go over now, thanks to an article provided by the Tokusatsu network and TV Asahi's intro page for Kingohger. Ohsama Sentai Kingohger is proclaimed as a large-scale fantasy setting where the heroes are fighting alongside the bug-inspired robots to protect the world. Each hero is a member of royalty of their individual nations, lands renowned for their particular focus or advancements. Kuakata Ohsha, the stag beetle themed Red Ranger, is the self-proclaimed king of Shugodam, the strongest nation where a guardian deity resides. Tombo Ohsha, the Blue Ranger based on a dragonfly, is the monarch of Unkasopa, the land of technology. Kamakiri Ohsha is the mantis-themed Yellow Ranger and the queen of Ishabana, a country renowned in the arts and medical care. Papillon Ohsha, the butterfly motif Purple Ranger, is the first Purple Ranger on a core team of rangers, and is the monarch of Gokhan, the land of ice and snow. Lastly is Hachi Ohsha, the bee-inspired Black Ranger, not a monarch but rather the lord of Tofu, a country known for its agriculture. Their enemies are called the Earth Empire Bugnarak, though at this point in time we don't know anything about them. In the Kingohger's arsenal are their transformation device, the Ohsha Caliber, a weapon called the King's Weapon, and their mechs that combine into the series' eponymous mecha, Kingohger. Kingohger is made up of 8 components, 5 being the personal mechs of each ranger, and the other 3 being extras required to complete the combination. These are God Kuwagata, God Tombo, God Kamakiri, God Papillon, God Hachi, God Tento, God Kumo, and God Ant. Tento and Kumo meaning ladybird and spider respectively. This is by far the most components for a series' main mecha in all of Sentai, which is really quite something. The last thing we had was the staff working on the series. Director is Kazuya Kamihoriuchi, who worked on Ryusoulger and many Rider series. The writer is Minato Takano, who worked on a couple episodes of Kamen Rider 01. The action director is Jun Watanabe, and the special effects director is Hiroshi Butsuda, those two having worked on various Toku. And finally are the series' producers: Takahiro Okawa, Takahito Omori, Taku Mochizuki, Yosuke Minato, and Koichi Yada. And the other thing revealed here was the series' start date, the 5th of March 2023. A few days later, after having been teased the previous month, we got our first proper magazine scans of the Kingohgers. It gave us closer looks at each ranger and the series' mecha, including the Ohsha Caliber and our first look at the previously mentioned King's Weapon, a 6-mode weapon that defaults to a shield and has unique modes for each ranger: a sword for Kuwagata, a gun for Tombo, a sickle for Kamakiri, a bow for Papillon, and a claw for Hachi. Our closer look at the series' mechs revealed that God Tento and God Kumo were actually in pairs, effectively making the mecha Kingohger a 10-part combination. Some time passed as we entered 2023, and we eventually got official toy images of and our first look at the toy of the mech Kingohger through a Bandai Mania toy review in mid-January, which also revealed the series' first auxiliary mecha, the rhinoceros beetle-themed God Kabuto, which could transform into a huge cannon that could be wielded by Kingohger. A couple of days later, it would be revealed that the mech Kingohger would be appearing in the next episode of Don Brothers, and when Don Brothers episode 45 aired, it did indeed appear, but firstly as Don Kingohger, which was just Kingohger but with the head of Don Onutaijin, and after defeating Hyakuzu King, it turned back into Kingohger and just left. A couple of days prior to Don Brothers episode 45 airing though, we got official toy images of and our first look at the toy of the Ohsama caliber through a Bandai Mania toy review, and also official images of the King's Weapon, the new bike for Kawakata Ohsama called the King Speeder, the belt Ohsama holder, and phone King's Hotline were released. The official toy images for the King's Weapon also revealed a 7th mode for it, a Naginata mode made by combining it with the Ohsama caliber. The King's Weapon is something I'm definitely considering getting, having made me reminisce of my first ever Toku toy from 6 years ago and fellow multi-mode Sentai weapon, the Q the Weapon. So possibly expect a review for that around my birthday in May. Anyways, a couple of weeks after those official images, we finally got our first teaser trailer for Kingohger after episode 47 of Don Brothers aired, which featured the Kingohgers in motion for the first time, which also included quick looks at Bugnarak's mooks and a potential future combination for the mech Kingohger. That's all we've had as of this recording though. The next bit will be recorded after the press conference is aired, which right now we don't yet have a date for. Well, the day after the previous recording, the press conference was announced for the 14th of February. Before I cover that though, there's a couple Kingohger things we got during the week before the press conference aired, both relating to the toy of the eponymous mecha. Firstly, we got a commercial for the toy of the Kingohger mecha. Not much to take from it, but it does give something of a hint as to how the Shoot Gods combine into Kingohger. The second thing we got for the toy was a limited early premium Bandai release of the deluxe Kingohger toy, from which we got a few early reviews of it. Something I want to highlight is in a review by the YouTuber Watafa, we got a look at Kingohger with just each ranger's personal mecha, so excluding Tento, Kumo and Ant. It doesn't include the sword made from Tombo and Papillon, but it's the closest look we have. It'd be a cool thing to see in the show sometime, reminiscent of Abba and Oji from Abba Ranger. Now for the press conference. It aired at 12 PM Japanese Standard Time on the 14th of February. It was during the night for me, so I wasn't able to watch it live, but I'll still be covering it nonetheless. For this, I'll be predominantly sourcing an article written by the Tokusatsu network and a thread made by TL Savage 6 on Twitter. The conference revealed a basic plot for the series, the cast playing the Rangers, the supporting cast, and the villains, along with the opening theme and a longer trailer. Starting with the series' basic plot, it goes as follows. Among the 5 kingdoms, there is a prophecy. In 2,000 years, the Earth Empire Bugnarak will awaken to drive humanity to extinction. However, 5 royals and the guardian deity Kingohger have risen to the call. On to the cast, starting with the Rangers. Kawakata Ohsama is Gira, played by Taisei Sakai. Gira is the self-proclaimed king of Shugodam, who grew up in a children's home. Gira is a kind man, but always played the villain when playing hero with children, and has the nickname King of Evil. He has a habit of saying, "I will rule the world," in a misleading tone. Tombo Ohsama is Yanma Gust, played by Aoto Watanabe. Yanma is the king of Unkasopa, who grew up in the slums. He rose to power via his laptop, is often referred to as president, and aims to be the best at all times. Kamakiri Ohsama is Himeno Ran, played by Erika Murakami. Himeno is Queen of Ishapana, the land of arts and medicine. She is a beautiful but selfish queen who aims to gather beautiful things at any cost. However, she is also a doctor who is unafraid to save others before herself. Papillon Ohsama is Rita Kanisuka, played by Yuzuki Hirakawa. Rita is the monarch of Gokhan, the land of ice and snow, and also a Supreme Court judge seeking to uphold neutrality in the world. They are stoic and cautious, and a fair and accurate judge, but are also compassionate and soft-spoken. Last of the Rangers, Hachioja is Kaguragi Debowski, played by So Kaku. Lord of Tofu, the land of agriculture, Kaguragi is a two-faced and cunning nobleman who lies while smiling and uses any tactic necessary to maintain supreme peace. Now remember how I said Gira was only the self-proclaimed king of Shugodam? Well, as it turns out, he's not the true king of Shugodam. That honour goes to Heracles Hasti, played by Masato Yano. The successor to his father, Corsus Hasti, Heracles is the ruler of the kingdom with the most power, who governs the kingdoms with exceptional leadership skills, and his subjects have much faith and trust in him. On to the supporting cast, the attendants of Heracles, Yanma, Himeno, and Rita. The attendants of Heracles are Duga and Boschmal, played by Yutaka Marioka and Jubun Fukuzawa respectively. Yanma's attendant is Shiokara, played by Yuhei Chiwata. Himeno's attendant is Sebastian, played by Hiroto Yoshimitsu, and Rita's attendant is Morphonia, played by Kasumi Hasegawa. For the villains, the Earth Empire Bugnarak, it is ruled by Hell King Desnarak VIII, voiced by Tomoyuki Shimura. Desnarak is the leader of the Bugnarak, who seeks treasures in order to rewrite the balance of power between humans and the Bugnarak. Bugnarak's Prime Minister is Kamejim, voiced by Shinichiro Miki. Prime Minister Kamejim is a researcher of insect-based mechanical life forms who can grant the Bugnarak powers from insects that turn them into monsters, along with being able to enlarge them into giants. We also got a better look at Bugnarak's mooks, not from the conference, but separately, which have now been named. They're called Sanagim. Compared to Reiwa's other basic villain mooks, these ones are easily the best looking. As for the series' opening, it is called Zenryoku King and is sung by Takeyuki Furukawa. Lastly is the extended trailer, which gave us a longer look at the series than in the previous teaser, including the prophecy that the series revolves around, each of the King Ohsas out of suit, each of the kingdoms that the monarchs rule, the reveal of the transformation phrase Orgai Buso, and our first look inside the cockpit of the mech King Ohsa. I shall leave a couple links to the trailer down in the description. The first one is without subs, posted by the King Ohsa official Twitter, and the second one is English subbed and posted by Zombie Week. After the press conference, the King Ohsa official Twitter announced the suit actors for each of the King Ohsas, the mech King Ohsa, Desnarak, and Kamejim. Quagata Ohsas is Shigeki Ito, Tombo Ohsas is Hirotsugu Mori, Kamikiri Ohsas is Yume Sakanashi, Papillon Ohsas is Yuichi Hachisuka, Hachi Ohsas is Shogo Teramoto, King Ohsas is Yohei Fujita, Desnarak's is Ryuichi Seike, and Kamejim's is Masato Tsutamune. The night after, we got a King Ohsa merch leak of some chibi plushies of the Rangers, which included a new Ranger called O Kuwakata Ohsa. Being just a silver recolor of Kuwakata Ohsa, this is obviously not the series' 6th Ranger, rather an extra Ranger. But given that Kuwakata Ohsa is Gira, who isn't the king of Shugodam, it can be assumed that O Kuwakata Ohsa is the king of Shugodam and is therefore Heracles Hasti. One thing I do wonder though is what sort of role O Kuwakata Ohsa will play in the series proper. So that's all the stuff revealed for Ohsama Sentai Kingohger so far in the last couple of months, as of the 15th of February. The show starts the Sunday after next on the 5th of March, and it sounds like some exciting stuff. And if you're excited too, let me know down in the comments below, along with any thoughts you may have. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see all your valid peeps next time.